So, hello there, and welcome back to another Night of the Movies video. I'm, of course, Spike Knight, and in these videos, I love talking about things, movies and TV, and whatever I want, whenever I want. And in today's video, I am reviewing the new Predator film, Predator Badlands. So, let's get into it, shall we? Predator Badlands is the newest film in the Predator franchise. And according to Google, well, according to AI and Google, so take this with a grain of salt, but according to Google, this is the 9th film, yes, you heard me correctly, the 9th, yeah, got it right there, 9th film in the Predator franchise. And I'll admit, I am not the biggest Predator franchise fan. I'm not the biggest fan of the Predator movies. I think the first one is good fun, but there's some people who hold it in high regard, and I just don't. There's some people who make out as if the first Predator is like one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the greatest action movies of all time, and I personally don't think it is. I think it's good, I'm not sure if I'd say it was great, personally. And then you get to Predator 2, and I was like, I can see what it's trying to do, but it doesn't really work. Then there's Predators, which is the one with Adrian Brody, and I don't think that film really works either. And then there's The Predator, which is directed by Shane Black, and that should have been so good because Shane Black's in the original Predator, and Shane Black is also a great filmmaker, but that film is poor with a capital P. And then you also get the Alien vs Predator movies, and I haven't seen those movies, and I have no intention to. I've heard that they are watchable, but still, I haven't heard great things about them. But a couple of years ago, a Predator movie came out that was actually pretty damn good, and that movie was called Prey. Now, Prey didn't get a theatrical release. It didn't release in cinemas, but it did release on Disney+. And I remember sitting down to watch on Disney+, not expecting loads, and then coming away from the film going, that was actually really good fun, and probably the best Predator movie since the original, if not actually better than the original, which I know might be a bit of a slightly controversial opinion, but I don't care. I do kind of like Prey a bit more than the first Predator, but I don't have a huge allegiance to this franchise, so I'm literally just saying that off the top of my head. Tomorrow or in a week's time, I may change my mind. But yes, the point I'm making is I loved Prey. And Prey was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who has directed this new Predator, Predator Badlands. And when I heard that Dan Trachtenberg, the director of Prey, was directing this Predator movie, I was like, okay, now you've got my attention. Because what I liked about Prey is how it put the Predator in a different situation, a different circumstance, in a different setting, and Dan Trachtenberg made it believable that these natives could take down the Predator. They made it believable, and I thought Prey was far better than it had any right to be. And I was thinking if we're going to do the same thing with this movie, then I'm all in. And I'll be honest, though, the trailers of this film did not sell me. I did like the whole idea of this film, that the Predator is a good guy. That's essentially the hook of the film. The thing that's trying to get you to watch it, the thing that's trying to attract newcomers to the franchise, or to try and attract people who are previous fans of the franchise who maybe fallen off the franchise at a certain point, maybe with The Predator or with Predators, to try and reel them back in. How do we get people excited about a Predator movie again? This time, let's make the Predator the good guy. Let's make the Predator the protagonist. Because all the time before, it's been, well, as far as I'm aware, it's been the Predator is the bad guy and you're meant to root against the Predator. Whilst in this film, the Predator is the good guy. And that's kind of the big hook. Not kind of, actually. It is the big hook when it comes to this movie. And that did interest me. But the trailers didn't make me go, wow, that's a film I can't wait to see at the cinema, in all honesty. But I did go to see the cinema yesterday, and I went in with high hopes. This film is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who I've already said directed Prey, and I do think Prey is probably the best Predator movie. It had far better than it had any right to be. And that's coming from someone who likes the first Predator. And I was thinking, and I heard good things about this film from some film pundits that I follow online. So yeah, I went in with high hopes. Maybe not with high hopes, but I went in optimistic. I went in hoping to have a good, fun time at the cinema on a Saturday night with this film. And the Google plot synopsis of this film goes as follows. Cast out from its clan, an alien hunter and an unlikely ally embark on a treacherous journey in the search of the ultimate adversary. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this film before seeing it. And honestly, I thought this film was alright. I didn't take a disliking to it, but I didn't take a strong liking to it either. This film, I was kind of disappointed by. I don't think it's bad. I actually would say I enjoyed myself watching this film fully enough. It has some good action set pieces, some creative action set pieces, which I do think were well done and well choreographed and well thought out, you know. And you don't always get that with a lot of action movies nowadays. Sometimes you watch action in movies and it's like, yeah, it feels like they came up with that on the spot. Well, you don't get that with the action in this movie. The action does feel like it has been thought out, and it feels like a lot of attention being put into the action set piece, and that's what this film is really riding on. You know, that's his film's a big selling point, the action set pieces, and obviously the conceit that I talked about earlier, the hook that I talked about earlier with the Predator being the good guy. And I do think that is done well. I do think you were made to care about the Predator in a sort of way which works. It works to a certain degree. I didn't care loads about the Predator, but I cared more about the Predator than I thought I was going to care about the Predator going into this film. I think Elle Fanning as this synth is brilliant. I think Elle Fanning is a brilliant actor, and I think people are starting to see that a lot more now. I do think that she's one of the actors you'll see in an Oscar-winning movie, on an Oscar-nominated movie in the next couple of years, and people go, wow, she's a really spectacular actress. And you get that from this film. She's showing a lot of range in the roles, should I say, without going into spoilers, because there's a spoiler-free review, in the roles she is playing in this film, because she plays more than one role. Yeah, she's really great. And I actually found her character to be the most interesting character of the film. I liked the Predator that we followed in this film. I think he's called Dex, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I liked the Predator that we followed in this film, but I felt that Elle Fanning's character was probably the most interesting character for me personally. She was a character that I found the most engagement with, and that I thought, again, was the most interesting. And I also liked the fact that she's a synth, and it's the same sort of synth that you see in the Alien movies. You know, that Ian Holm played in the original Alien, and then you see that same sort of synth character in all the Alien movies or Alien TV shows. Well, there's only been one Alien TV show, but you get the point I'm making. But yeah, those are the most interesting parts to the film, and again, it's not a bad watch. It's a sort of film I can see a group of lads, you know, not that I have really been in a circumstance like this, but a group of lads sitting down to watch on a Saturday night, ordering some pizza, ordering some takeout, getting a couple of drinks, and sitting down together and going, oh yeah, Predator, this is going to be so enjoyable to watch. I don't know why I'm using that voice there, but hopefully you get the point I'm making. I can see that happening in the future when this film comes out on Disney Plus, which it eventually will, or on DVD if people still watch DVDs. I don't know if people still do. I do, but I'm not sure if everyone else does. But get the point I'm making. I can see that happening with this film. If you're a fan of the Predator franchise, I do think there is a lot to enjoy here. But personally, as someone who is not really a fan of this franchise, who does not think about it that much, and who does not look back on, you know, fond days of watching the original loads, I don't really have any fond memories of watching the original. Again, I enjoyed the original, but I don't think it's one of the greatest action movies of all time, as some people do. From somebody who's not a big Predator fan, I was hoping for more, as this is the 9th film in the Predator franchise, and I wanted to feel more. I didn't really care about what was going to happen to our main characters. You know, I enjoyed watching them, but then the thought did occasionally cross my mind, well, if they don't succeed in their mission, if they don't succeed in what they're trying to do, well then what is really going to happen to them? Because they can defend themselves pretty well. So why should I care if, well, without going into too many details, you know, if they don't get off this planet? Why should I care? And for me, that made the film a little inconsequential, and it also made the film, yeah, kind of unengaging to watch. I was hoping for more heart, and you could argue there was a heart in this film. You know, when you actually get to the end of this movie, you find out that it's really about family. That's like the main message behind the film. It's a film about family, but for a film that is about family or found family, about, you know, the sort of family you find along the way. I was hoping for a bit more. I got to the end of this film and I was like, okay. It wasn't a bad watch, but I was hoping to come out of the cinema going, yeah, that was great, you know? And I didn't come out of the cinema feeling that. I didn't come out of the cinema with, like, a spring in my step, you know what I mean? And again, I was hoping to. It felt more like a movie made for Predator fans, where the director, who was clearly a fan of at least the original Predator, probably is a fan of all the Predator movies in some sort of way, likes parts of them. It feels like it was from a filmmaker who wanted to put the Predator in all these interesting and kind of unique situations, but didn't really have a strong purpose to do so. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching the film and I wanted to feel more in certain action sequences. I wanted to get to certain action sequences and go, oh wow, I don't know what's going to happen here, because of the way the film's built up and the way the film has made this action sequence so riveting to watch. But I didn't get that. You know, the film opened with an action sequence, and that kind of sets a tone for the rest of the film. Every time you think something kind of interesting is going to happen, every time you think something kind of different is going to happen, the film just cuts to an action sequence. And again, I think the action is not badly done. I think it's well done. I don't think it's amazingly done, but I think it's well done. However, I was hoping for more at the end of the day. It's one of those films that I'll probably not remember much about in like a year's time. In fact, I probably won't remember much about this film when we get into the new year, which sounds far away, but isn't actually that far away anymore. You know, we're not really in early November anymore. We're kind of getting to mid-November, and from the guy who directed Prey, I was hoping to be sucked into this film. You know, I was hoping to be locked into it. I was hoping to care about the characters, to be going, oh wow, this is a new, different direction in the Predator franchise. But instead, it, to me, at times felt like more of the same, but without enough of a twist on it. Because the twist of the film, well, yeah, the twist on the idea of the movie is that the Predator is a good guy. And that is not a bad hook. That's not a bad idea to get this film to work, to attract people to go and watch this movie. But I don't know if the film does enough with that idea. And I don't know if the film really was the right direction to take the Predator franchise after Prey. And I know it's not the first Predator film after Prey. I know there's been an animated Predator film called Killers and Killers, which is all started by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed this film and Prey. And I haven't seen that animated movie, and I heard it's very good, by the way, but again, I haven't seen it. However, when you get to this film, I was like, I think that Dan Trachtenberg could have made a very different movie out of Prey. You know, a very different live-action Predator movie after Prey. And instead he went in this direction. And it felt more like, to me, he was appealing to the Predator fans, to more of the Predator fans, than to people who aren't necessarily fans of this franchise. It felt like a Predator action movie, and not a particularly memorable one in my opinion either. Again, I was entertained by it, I would say overall. I mean, I wasn't thoroughly entertained by it, but I was entertained by it overall. But, you know, it's one of those films, right, you could stick on and you don't have to pay your full attention to. And I kind of wanted to watch an action movie which keeps your attention, which grabs your attention and doesn't let go. And hopefully I'm going to get that later this week with The Running Man. Hopefully I'm going to get that, because that film's directed by Edgar Wright, who's my favourite filmmaker working today. So yeah, I can't wait to see The Running Man. But I was hoping to get that with Predator. I was hoping to be pleasantly surprised, particularly the way people are talking about it. But again, I'm not a big Predator fan. And if you did love this movie, if you're a huge fan of this film, I don't want to take that away from you whatsoever. I'm dead jealous of you. I mean, I didn't dislike the film. People misinterpret me sometimes when I say I just thought a film was alright or okay. No, if I think a film was alright, then it has worked for me on a certain degree, you know, to a certain point. But with this film, you know, again, I was just hoping for more. I was hoping to be more emotionally taken by it, and I was hoping for my attention to, you know, be grabbed from the get-go and not let go of. But unfortunately, that isn't really what happened. So yeah, I thought the film was alright, and in all honesty, I'll be surprised if I remember anything about it when we get into 2026. But I might be wrong. Maybe I'll watch it again, and I'm like, actually, this is a far better film than I remember it being. But I've just got a feeling that's not going to happen. And so, from me, I'm going to say that Predator Badlands, I'm going to give it a... I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm just giving it a 6 out of 10 because I found it somewhat enjoyable. It was enjoyable enough to pass the time on a Saturday night. But again, you know, I think it should be better. Again, I found the film kind of enjoyable, but I was just hoping for more. I think the film lacks a strong beating heart and lacks that emotional engagement to make it an action movie that you're going to remember in the years to come. It's an action movie that I'll personally forget about in a couple of months' time, which I'm okay about, but I was just, again, hoping for more, particularly as the guy directed Prey, and Prey was just such a nice surprise in this franchise. But this film, I could have done without it. You know, if this film didn't exist, I wouldn't be yearning for, you know? But again, it's not a bad watch. And I've seen worse Predator movies. I was just hoping for a little bit more personally, you know? Still, it was fun to watch at the cinema. And that is why, once more, I am going to say that Predator Badlands is a 6 out of 10 for me. Anyway guys, that's it for today's podcast. If you have seen Predator Badlands, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Maybe you agree with me, or maybe you think I am dead wrong. And if you do think I'm dead wrong, please let me know why I'm dead wrong in the comment section below. But yeah, thank you for watching. I don't know why I lost track of my outro there. Thank you for watching this video nonetheless, whatever you thought of my opinion on this film. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this video if you enjoyed the video, of course. And I look forward to many more videos coming very, very soon on this channel. As what he said, thank you so much for watching or listening to this video. Yeah, you could listen to this video. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this video, and I will see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.